Alright, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about how Andrew Tate made his first seven figures, also known as OFM. So if you're not new here, you probably know what this is. It's a bit more of a beginner friendly video, but if you are new here, you might have no clue what OFM is or how Andrew Tate made his first seven figures. So what the business is Onlyfans management. Um, and pretty much how it works is you're the manager of an OF creators account, right, or multiple creators accounts, and you basically take a percentage of the revenue that's made, you know, through the chatting on the OF account, through the subscribers that come through, all that stuff. You basically manage everything. All the creator does is make the content, and you handle pretty much everything else. So yeah, a lot of people don't know this is how Andrew Tate made his first couple of $1 million online. It was also like a live streaming agency, like models that live stream, but it's in the same industry basically, and it is very similar. Like he took a percentage as well, or he paid them a salary, which is what you can also do in OFM, and I'll talk about that soon as well. So first of all, like I said, I've already explained how the business works, like what you do as a manager. You handle everything, you market all that stuff, but this is how you start. So very first thing, even before outreaching, that I'd recommend is actually getting some information, finding some information, whether it's free online information on YouTube or wherever you find it, or whether it's through a paid private group or network. However you want to find your information, it's best to find something. If you have no clue at all what you're doing, then you're not going to do very well, right? Next thing is obviously making an agency, making Instagram accounts, all that stuff to actually outreach on. One thing I will say right now is don't waste too much time on this. A lot of people they tell me, oh, I started a week ago and I've only just made my agency Instagram account. Like, bro, you wasted a whole week making an Instagram account for an agency page that is going to be barely used. With outreach, all you really need is a personal account and a few like fake model accounts where you can DM creators acting as if you're a model. An agency account will help. Some models will ask you, what's your agency? Can I see proof that you're actually an agency? And you can send them your agency account, but that's not where you outreach from. It doesn't really work anymore. Like outreaching from an agency account worked back in like 2023. It doesn't work now. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But it's just good to kind of have that as like the proof that you're an actual agency for some girls that don't trust you. Same with website. We literally don't have a website. We used to have a website, but it got taken down, and we never brought it back up. You honestly don't need a website. Like, if you want to have a website, go ahead, but you really don't need one. So I wouldn't spend too much time on that either. Especially if you're on your if you're only starting with like $100, then especially don't pay money to like get a domain, all that stuff for a website when you really don't need it. So yeah, you basically just need a personal account and a fake model account is the main things that you need. And yeah. So now actually starting with outreach, once you've made your accounts, if you don't know how to make an account, by the way, at all, like what should it look like, a fake model account is very self-explanatory, like you basically just copy a actual OF model's account. A personal account, you can go to my Instagram if you want to take inspiration, but it's basically just a personal brand where you look like you make good money, you have results, stuff like that on your account. Something that where the model will actually be like, damn, this guy looks like he actually knows what he's doing. I'm interested. So actually outreaching, there's a few ways you can do it. Obviously the main way, like one of the most popular ways or most known ways, is just through like locations. If you know like a club in your area or in a different city near you, you could do that, and then you could DM the girls that have been to that club or a strip club, anything like that. You can DM girls that you know personally, try to get them to start OF if you want to do that, or you can literally just try find OF girls already. So one way that's really easy to do this is if you just find one from anywhere, like if you just scroll around and see one, or if you see one on TikTok, if you see one in a location, like I said, if you follow them on Instagram, like if any of you actually use Instagram, you probably already know this. When you follow somebody on Instagram, it'll recommend more like similar accounts, right? And there's basically a loophole of just seeing a bunch of the same, like a bunch of OF career accounts. Some might be already managed, but if you just keep doing this, it's literally a loophole of finding thousands of girls. It's very easy. Um, it's not the highest success rate because, like I said, it can show up any type of girl. Like it might show up agency accounts, anything like that. But it's just your loophole. It's like the easiest way to find girls, in my opinion. So yeah, and then another way that I think is very high successful right now is through TikTok. So what you can do is you can go on TikTok live tab. We can just see people that are live, and if you interact with a bunch of OF creators on TikTok, your TikTok will become more, OF niched, right? And when you go on the TikTok live tab, you'll see a lot of girls trying to promote the OF, but they're not doing very well. And this is where you can basically get models that are clearly actually at least somewhat hard working, or at least trying to promote the OF, but it's not going well. And this is where you can see that they're active, working already, and you can go to the IG in the bio and DM them and wait for them to finish the live, and then there's a high chance they'll reply to you. Because a lot of the time when they're on a TikTok live, they'll check the IG DMs after to see if people DM them. So yeah, I recommend doing that. That's a very highly successful right now. That does work very good. So I try to do that. And yeah, outreach, it's literally a numbers game. Like there's not really any secret to it. You just gotta test. You gotta do a lot of testing, different messages, like what to say to them, and you gotta find what works. Each girl is different. One girl might just straight away say yeah to anything you say. Some girls are gonna be a lot more, unconfident in like whatever you say. So you gotta persuade them more, anything like that. So it really depends. Like it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. Like if you only do like 10 DMs a day, you can't really expect to get the best results. But if you do 100 plus, then obviously within the first week you should easily have a model. And once you do have a model, interested, wanting to sign with you, obviously you talk to them, you tell them what the percentages they're gonna take, whether it's 50% or 60%. And after that, once everything's sorted, that'll be where you start onboarding. So onboarding is basically, in a way, it's just basically getting everything prepared, right? Like you want to get access to all the logins that you need, like the OF account, all of that stuff. You want to get all the content prepared, so you can make a Google Drive where she uploads all the content she has. If she doesn't have enough content, you can send her back another different drive. We do it on Notion, but you can do it on Drive as well. Just a list of content where you basically want to recreate it, right? And once the content's ready, that's when you can start marketing. So with marketing, I've got a lot of videos already. If you are completely new here and you don't actually do OFM yet, or you're a beginner to OFM, check my channel. I've got a lot of videos about different marketing, like Instagram, Reddit, Threads, all that stuff. And yeah, what I'd recommend is just kind of deciding what you want to start with, like what you think the career will do well on. Obviously, if you're a beginner, it's not that easy as just kind of knowing like, oh, this model will do well on Reddit, she do well on Twitter, anything like that. But just pick what you think is the easiest in your opinion, or what you maybe already have experience with. Maybe if you've done Instagram marketing before, Reddit marketing before, or Twitter marketing before, you've already got somewhat experience with that app. So you might want to start with that. Don't start with everything all at once, because if you try to do 10 different platforms all at once straight away, you're just going to end up kind of getting stuck in a situation where you probably will make a bit of money, but you won't be able to scale. Like you'll be stuck not knowing what to do because you're trying to handle everything, and it'll just slow down after a while. So I'd recommend just picking something. What I recommend starting with, this is what we usually start with, is either Reddit, Twitter, or Threads. We usually start with those two or three. Depending on how much content we have, we'll start with either just Twitter and Reddit, or we'll start with like Twitter, Reddit, and Threads. Those are the easiest in my opinion, but some people prefer Instagram, some people prefer dating apps, all that stuff. So it really depends what you want to do. Personally, I would recommend starting with one of those, learning that, and then scaling from there. So chatting, obviously chatting is very important. This is where you make most of the money. So obviously you'll get subscribers, you'll get traffic to the OF page, but the way we run it is we'll either have free subs or we'll have a very low price for subs, so like $3, right? Because the aim is, you don't want to make all your money from subs. You want to make the money from chatting. That's where you can upsell them the most. That's where you can make the most money. Because if someone pays like $30 for a subscription, they're gonna expect a lot more explicit content on the OF page without having to pay you. Whereas if it's a $3 subscription, they're gonna expect less explicit content on the OF page because it's cheap. So then they're gonna go to the DM you, try buy some, and then obviously if you have a good sales team, this is where you can make from each like a few subscribers you can make hundreds to thousands, right? Like very easily, with scripts, stuff like that. So this is where you make most of the money. Having a good sales team is very important in this business. Like even if your traffic or like you're not very good at marketing, if you only get 10 subs a day, like paid subs a day, if you have a good sales team, you could still make like a few thousands of dollars per month, just from those few subs, right? Because that is where you make most of the money. So yeah. Now hiring the right people, such as building a team, that and scaling curve comes down in the same category, but this is where you really make a big difference in your agency. Like the difference between the people that are on like 5K a month to the people that are on like 50K, 100K a month plus. A lot of people, they'll try to save their money. They'll say, oh, if I spend 1K a month on these VAs to do this for me, that's less profit for me. I can do it myself. But like, yeah, that's true. You can maybe do it yourself, but there'll end up being a point where you're stuck at the same place and you can't scale because you're trying to do it all yourself. Whereas you could have spent a bit of extra money getting a VA to handle something completely for you. Like let's say you start with Reddit, you've now learned the platform, and now you're ready to hire someone and teach them how to do it for you, right? Let's say you pay them $800 a month to handle like 3, 4, 5 accounts for you, maybe even more. That can make you that money back plus more if they're doing it correctly very easily. And then you can also move forward to starting something else like Twitter, Threads, dating apps, whatever it may be. And then you'll end up making more money. And then once you learn that platform, you can outsource that to another VA and so on, right? And that's where you can really scale, because then there'll be a point where you've got a good team. You can have managers for those teams where your best workers can teach more people, so that for each model, or if you want to scale a model even more, those VAs will teach other people for you. And then, it's just a constant repeat of scaling very easily, very fast, and just making more money overall, right? So this is very important. Don't be that guy that tries to save their last few pennies or a few dollars just because they don't want to have a VA because they think they can do it themselves. Like, to reach like 5 or 10K a month, sure, you can do it yourself easily. That's what I did. But once you get to that point, you're gonna want to scale more. Like you're not gonna be happy with 10K a month forever. A lot of people say that they will be, but you're not gonna be. Once you reach that amount, you're just gonna want more. No one's ever like really happy completely with how much they make. They always want to make more. So when you're at that point, you have to spend money. Like if you spend money, is a lot of the time, unless you really fuck it up. Like when it comes to hiring, if you have the right knowledge, for me, like most of the time, it's always a good ROI. Like we don't really lose much money unless you do fuck up and have the wrong people that you hired. You gotta have the right process for this. Like obviously we go a lot. I do go a lot more in depth into this in my private group. But when you have the correct process to hiring people, it can't really go wrong often. Like obviously sometimes yeah it will, but it can't go wrong often. So yeah, that's pretty much it overall. Like how the business works, what you do, all of that stuff. Obviously we do go a lot more in depth into literally everything that I mentioned in the private group, which will be in the description. When I say everything, I mean literally everything. Like outreach, we have multiple categories of outreach in the group. We have multiple categories for marketing. We have a category for literally pretty much every marketing like traffic source you can think of. We have it there. Threads, Reddit, YouTube, dating apps, a lot more. We have all of that there. But a few last tips before I end the video. First of all, don't waste time trying to learn by yourself. I think I mentioned it like closer to the start of the video, but I think it's very important because this is the mistake that I did at the start. Is I tried to learn myself for like a month straight, and I literally wasted that whole month like making no money at all. And obviously, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you join a group or if you network with someone, you're gonna make thousands in the first month. Some people it takes them 6 months to make money. Some people it takes them a year to make money. But if you join a group or at least try to network with people, or even just watch YouTube videos for free. Like if you genuinely have little money to your name, then yeah, sure, just network with people for free, join free groups, watch YouTube videos, and do the best you can. Um, with the situation you're in, and once you have more money, then maybe invest into better, more valuable information. Because in this industry, things change constantly. Like Reddit, for example, Reddit changes literally every single month. Like there's a different method behind it. Like every single month, there's bans always coming. Dating apps, it changes constantly. Like it can literally change like almost daily. And people's methods that makes them thousands can stop working just like that. Instagram can change. TikTok. Like a lot of people used to have TikTok as their main traffic source, but then because of like the updates they had, it completely fucked up their entire agency basically, and they had to start. Not completely from zero, but they had to start from like where they were like maybe a year ago, right? So just don't waste your time. At the end of the day, there's no point wasting like 6 months of your life just because you wanted to save a few $100s. Not wanting to learn something, right? And networking is very important. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. My private group and the free guide will be in the description if you don't want to learn more about everything that I just mentioned here. We do a lot of weekly calls as well in the private group. Literally today that I'm uploading this on the 6th of February, we're doing a Reddit call. We're doing a lot more in the future as well. So yeah,